today is DNA virus, our first session. Let us begin with adenoviruses. So you all know that its morphology is like a space vehicle. This is how the adenovirus looks. Before we go ahead, let me tell you that all the three DNA viruses that we are going to do today, they are non-enveloped and they are very small. For example, the smallest virus, which is the smallest DNA virus, smallest is parvo, and it is around 20 to 25 nanometer in size. Then the next in size in DNA viruses group is papilloma virus. The size is around 15 nanometer, and little bigger than that is adenovirus, which is around 75 nanometer in size. So you can remember, that's why I have grouped all these three viruses together. So when you study in comparison, it becomes easy to remember. Okay. All three of them are non-enveloped. Adenovirus is icosahedron in for symmetry, and it has double-stranded DNA. So adenovirus has double-stranded DNA and papilloma virus has double-stranded DNA. Now the virus is host specific, not that it does not have any other extra human host. It does infect animals, but the adenoviruses which infect animal will not cause infection in case of human being, unlike say influenza virus or say now coronavirus. Okay, there were certain strains which were infecting animals which also caused infection in human being, which is not so with adenovirus. So the adenovirus, if you want to grow in the culture, will grow on human tissues like human embryonic kidney cell or HeLa or Hep2 cells. Okay, you cannot grow it into the egg or chick embryo fibroblast culture or say chorioallantoic membrane, etc., etc. Okay, and in cytopathic changes, it causes rounding of the cell and aggregation of the cells in grape-like clusters. If we see the stained preparation of adenovirus that has caused human infection, it shows intranuclear type of inclusion bodies, correct? All DNA viruses, they produce intranuclear inclusion bodies, except
pox.
correct. In pathogenesis, now there are various types of adenoviruses. Single adenovirus can cause different types of clinical features involving different systems, or different serotypes can cause one single systemic infection. For example, if we take respiratory tract, it can be respiratory tract infection can be caused by multiple adenovirus types. And sometimes if you consider any say number 3 or number 7 of adenovirus, it will lead to pharyngoconjunctival fever, it will lead to respiratory tract infections, it will lead to some other infections. So there is this overlap that you have to understand, but 1 to 7 types are the most common type present all over the world. So worldwide you can say that serotype 1 to serotype 7 are most common, and they cause infection of respiratory tract, urinary bladder, eye, and intestine. Now, these types also come in MCQ, in one-liner MCQ. So it's better if you can remember. Try to remember as much as possible. So when I speak about respiratory tract infections, the upper respiratory tract infection is caused by 1, 2, 3, 5. That includes pharyngitis and tonsillitis. When it comes to pneumonia, little deeper infection, then 3 and 7 is common in case of adults, and 7 is common for infants and young children. So you can say as you grow from up to down, then the type chronologically starts moving away. So 1, 2, 3, 5 upper respiratory, 3, 7 lower respiratory. Even acute respiratory disease or acute respiratory distress syndrome like condition is caused by 4 and 7. Then talking about the ophthalmic infection, it has two conditions. One is swimming pool conjunctivitis, that's also known as pharyngoconjunctival fever. that is caused by 3 and 7, same as that of pneumonia. And there is shipyard syndrome or epidemic keratoconjunctivitis, which is caused by some exotic strains. Like if we consider 1 to 7 common strains, then it is by 8, 1937. Okay. Also, adenovirus leads to acute follicular type of conjunctivitis. So one is pharyngoconjunctival fever, that's known as swimming pool conjunctivitis. You remember swimming pool granuloma? Right. It's swimming pool granuloma. Then when we speak about free-living amoebae, then primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, that is also caused due to swimming, not in pool, but in lake where the Naegleria fowleri enters through nose. Okay, and this is another swimming pool conjunctivitis caused by adenovirus 3 and 7. That's also called as pharyngoconjunctival fever. When we speak about intestinal infections, it leads to infantile diarrhea. The strains are 40 and 41. And in case of urinary tract infection, it leads to acute hemorrhagic cystitis in children. And the types are 11 and 21. So these are quite distant. That's how you can remember that something that is related to bladder is earlier number 11 and 21. And as you go to intestine, the farther numbers 41, 42, 40 and 41 come into picture. Now in lab diagnosis, either you can isolate the virus depending upon which system is affected, like throat swab, then eye secretion or eye swab, then urine or feces can be taken. Tissue culture, remember that only human tissues are preferred, and you can see cytopathic effect. In what do you see in cytopathic effect for adenovirus? The cells would be round and they will be present in the clusters. Or if you make smears, then direct immunofluorescence testing can be done for nasopharyngeal swab or ocular swab. Or then we have PCR, then electron microscopy, CFT, complement fixation test, nobody does nowadays. Then when electron microscopic picture of adenovirus was under study, there was one revelation that there were certain tiny viruses which were called as adenosatellite viruses because they were found in preparation along with the adenovirus. They were also small icosahedral, around 20 to 25 nanometer. They were unable to replicate independently as they lacked enough DNA. That's what it had been thought. And they would multiply only in the cells which are primarily affected by adenovirus. They will not multiply on their own otherwise in absence. So here you can remember the analogy of hepatitis D virus, which is dependent on hepatitis B virus for its coexistence. Okay. And these were called as adeno-associated viruses. And then later on it was found that it's actually parvovirus. Genus in parvovirus, Parvoviridae family, that's called as Dependovirus. And Dependovirus type 1, 2, 3 is of human origin and type 4 is simian origin. These can be detected by electron microscopy or by CFT or doing immunofluorescence test with specific antisera. But this is a link going from adenovirus to parvovirus. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So here we move to parvovirus.